Morning, Unity family. My name is Deborah Giddings, and I am delighted to be with you here today. So this morning, I am going to talk to you about something that Charles Fillmore wrote about in his book Talks on Truth. These teachings were also published in Unity magazine in October 1894, and I believe they are as pertinent today as they were back then. The title of this talk is Ye Must Be Born Again. During this time together, I'm going to guide you as to what you can expect as you continue to walk this most amazing journey, and how you can keep on keeping on when life happens. Let's first begin by explaining what it means to be born again or new birth. And I'm taking this definition in part from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Having a new birth is the change from carnal, egoic mind to spiritual consciousness through the quickening power of truth. It takes place in man's inner consciousness and includes the whole of man, spirit, soul, and body. Charles Fillmore wrote in his book Talks on Truth, over the entrance to the Greek temple was written, Know Thyself. And it is always written over every door that opens from ignorance to wisdom. Know thyself. Know who and what you are, where you came from, and what you are doing here, and where you are going. If you want to know all this, meditate upon the I am. Know thyself. How hard can it be? Well, it can be a double-edged sword. I don't know about you, but as I've been consciously and intentionally walking this journey, I've come to learn more about myself than I ever thought I'd want to know. I mean, did I really have to know that I could be just a little overly helpful and that it's not always welcomed? Couldn't I just stay ignorant and think that I'm just being wonderful? Well, thank goodness for unity. I learned that I am both. As Eric Butterworth said, we are human in expression, but divine in creation and limitless in potentiality. Thanks, Eric. As I said before, to know thyself is a lifelong journey. Oh, and by the way, you're going to hear me say journey a lot, not just for your benefit, but for mine. I need to always remember I'm on a journey, not trying to get to a destination. Another thing I learned about myself. Woo. So back to Charles. He knew that the only way to the I am is to come from the I am. He said this when he wrote, Know thyself. Know who and what you are, where you came from, what you are doing, and where you are going. And if you want to know all of this, meditate upon the I am. Now he and his wife Myrtle practiced what they preached. They experience that oneness with God. And in the Unity 5-step prayer process, it is emphasized that when you begin breathing and then focusing on your oneness with God, you begin to realize, embody that feeling of oneness. It is in this realization where one can begin to know thyself. When Charles wrote that prayer is the most highly accelerated mind action known, he told us that the way to truly know thyself is to go within. So how do you go within when life is throwing curveballs at you? When you're late for work and traffic's at a standstill, or when you have a sick child and an important meeting at the same time, or when they run out of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream at the supermarket. Really? Well, I always go back to something I started doing as soon as I was born. I breathe. Let's do it together. If it helps, close your eyes. Let's just take a deep breath in and a long, slow exhale out. Let's do that again. Deep breath in, long, slow exhale out. Just raise your hand if that had any effect on your mind or body. Yeah, there's quite a few of you out there. Breathing is something we always have at our disposal while we're here on the earth plane, and we do it unconsciously all day long. So the key to knowing thyself is to become conscious of the breath. Once you're conscious, the breath breathes you, or as Ricky Byers Beckwith sings, The breath of God is breathing me. I'm resting in the breath of God. I know that all is well. In his book, Atom Smashing Power of Mind, Charles Fillmore wrote, "Divine mind is the one and only reality. It is in this reality that we know thyself as truth." So when we sit quietly and take continuous deep breaths in and out, when we let our bodies stop, and we do this for a few minutes, our heart opens to divine mind. We don't have to do anything else. Now, I know that's a foreign concept to some, because it really was to me. To do one thing, really? I have to tell you though, when I learned to do one thing only, it really changed the way I approach life and experience it. Those curveballs coming at me, I am now able to step aside and let them whiz right by me so that I can make the best decision for me and not the curveball. In this space of grace, as I call it, we come to know thyself, our spiritual self, the I am. According to our dictionary of metaphysical terms, the revealing word, the I am is the metaphysical name of the spiritual self, as distinguished from the human self. So the reason that Charles wrote to know thyself is to meditate upon the I am is because the Christ mind or spiritual identity of each of us does not change. We are already perfectly whole in our identity, and it's through going within via breathing and getting quiet that we reconnect our human self with our spiritual self. In this way, we can truly express as God within. And when we see that outer expression in action, when we can feel that outer expression in action, when we can be that outer expression in action, then we know thyself. I've spent more than half my life getting to know myself. When I remember all of the different outer activities I did to try to learn to know myself, I kind of laugh. I started reading books like The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, and then The Secret from Abraham Hicks, and then I went on to trying to understand crystal energy. Then I got trained in Reiki, bells, gong, hands on, hands off. But you know what? All of it was beneficial to my spiritual journey. All of it raised my vibration. And while I was learning to get quieter, all of these modalities helped. It was when I was introduced to Eknath Easwaran's 8-point meditation cassette tapes that my life changed. It was when I started meditating that I began to know thyself. I learned how to be more compassionate with myself, and therefore I was able to show more compassion to others. I learned how to show up for myself, and therefore I was able to show up for others. Learning to know thyself has been life-changing for me, and believe it or not, for others. It is important that know thyself be ever present today, so that humankind can continue to move and breathe and have their being as their truth, their divine identity. We are one. There's no denying it. It is in this knowing and being, that oneness, where we humans can change the world for the best and highest good for all. It is only in knowing thyself, the truth of who we really are, that we can express as our divine identity. So if we are to save our planet from more harm, or save all creatures great and small, or save ourselves from our illnesses, both body and mind, then we need to know thyself. So this week, I invite you to take 5 minutes a day and stop. Put down all the spinning plates and step aside of the curveballs. Lock yourself in a closet if you need to, and take 5 minutes a day and breathe. Feel your human body respond to the breath, and then close your eyes and get still. Breathe in the breath of God. Just breathe. No words. Fill your heart with God energy, and then see what happens. Remember, there is more to life than just increasing its speed. I enfold all of you in a blanket of love, peace, and joy. Create a feel-good week. Namaste.